What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwing Hands. This is the year in review, award show, whatever you want to call it. Breck, how would you describe this year in mixed martial arts?
One of the best years in the history of martial arts. I mean, unbelievable cards.
Connor fought twice.
Connor fought twice. We got to learn more about martial arts through Detroit style, you know, urban training, which is one of the biggest things of the year. People need to stop overlooking that. But yeah.
For sure, man. But let's kick it off. We got some categories. I think we'll start with female fighter of the year. For me, it's got to be Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
Coming back, winning the title, defending the belt. Although I do think the "I'm the best" thing is a little cheesy. She really might be the best, and I think it shows, man. Who's your female fighter of the year?
Rose is a good shout. It's the easy one, but I would have to go Valentina.
Yeah, I would agree
because, the win over Lauren Murphy isn't as impressive, but what she did to Andrade, who's a former champion, and has beat like a Rose Namajunas, dude, she just took her down in the second round and destroyed her. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I just give it to Valentina is, what's it called? She is getting better every fight.
Yes, I completely agree.
I think right now she's I think right now she is pound for pound number one, but I think the gap between her and number two is like just widening. You know what I mean?
I agree. I do agree. And, I think Erin Blanchfield this is really far-fetched, but I think Erin Blanchfield could be the one to take that title from her.
Yeah, but that would have to be down the road.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, because she's not losing now.
No.
She's not losing anytime soon.
Yeah, the only people I could see beating her are other champions,
I agree. All right. Submission of the year. I had a tough time with this one, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want, because there were some Fluffy Hernandez against Rodolfo Vieira.
Yeah, submitted a black belt. Yeah, that was crazy.
No, he submitted a multi-time world champion.
Yeah, and he was shocked when he got submitted too. Like, his face, he was stunned.
Dude, that was. I mean, do you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Adrian, or who's the guy that just beat what's his face? Eric Anders. Andre Muniz.
Yeah, he also broke Jacare's arm, right?
Gosh, that was.
Yeah. One of those two, I would say you would have to give it to, because those were just what's his name? Muniz, right? Is that?
Yeah.
He had two in the same year, and then it's got to be Vieira, dude. You're right, because the broadcast crew was so stunned too, and everybody was like,
"Yeah, Hernandez, what he did to." I mean,
yeah,
Vieira needs to move up to light heavyweight because he's a massive middleweight.
Yeah,
he's gargantuan. I feel like his cardio would fare well up at 205.
Yeah. Another one that you just have to throw out there too is Moreno over Figueiredo.
Yeah,
I think it was
the magnitude of
it. And Figueiredo is a really good, jiu-jitsu practitioner himself, black belt.
Yeah.
And he got clipped and stuff, but just how quickly he got that choke in was kind of shocking.
I agree. Okay, hold on. All right. Fight night of the year. No, not pay-per-view. Fight night. For me, it's Fight Night Smith versus Spann. That fight night was absurd. Let's take a look at the big board. Hold on. That one just sticks out to me. It was a great card. It was a fantastic card. I just sounded like the Donald there. Great card, fantastic card. But that's beside the point. first off, started at 7 p.m. and I was kind of like, ah, oh, dang, that stinks. But it was just finishes upon finishes in the main card. I mean, you start off with Joaquin Buckley getting back on track. Then you got Nate Manis putting Tony Gravely out. And then Sarukian knocking out Christos Yagos. Then you got Ariane Lipsky with the decision. Then Kulava versus Devin Clark, which is actually a decent fight. Then Anthony Smith submitting Ryan Spann. That's what it was, just an overall top-notch fight night card.
Yeah. Man, I can't think of, recently what comes to mind is the Aldo Font one was really good.
That was really good.
That's up there for me. I can't pinpoint one. Like the fight nights to me they're all so even, you know what I mean? Because they're not as great as the cards, but they're all so, they're all so close for me. I really can't, single out one. I'm trying to think back early in the year too. I can't.
Oh, Holloway versus Rodriguez was a solid card.
That was a good one. Can you think of like early in the year, like when early 2021?
Gaslam Whitaker. Trying to think. Cater Holloway.
Oh yeah, Cater Holloway was a fight night. That's right.
It was on ABC.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's got to be mine then. If I had to choose one, just because we'll probably talk about that performance by Max.
Oh yeah, performance of the year.
But yeah, just for that performance alone, that's probably mine.
Yeah, it was great. I will say most boring card of the year: Rosenstruik versus Gone.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
That's an understatement.
There was another one where it was a female fight in the main event that was like 2 months ago.
Ladd versus Dumont.
Oh, Ladd versus Dumont was the worst I've ever watched. That's the worst of the year.
I hate to say it too, but at the same time, that was garbage.
It was so bad. There was like no finishes on that card either. It's crazy.
No, and the thing was, oh yeah, the fight night. You got Punalele Soriano knocking out Todorovic, Takiriko knocking out Buckley, Li Jingliang knocking out Ponzinibbio, Brown and Carlos Condit going the distance, and Holloway versus Cater. Yeah, that was a great card.
Yeah.
Performance of the year. Let's do performance of the year. I think it's still hands down Max Holloway versus Calvin Cater.
Yeah.
I mean, Pena, yes. I got to give it to that's upset of the year by far. Let's get that out of the way right now. Upset of the year.
Upset of the year. We don't really need to go into it. We've talked about it in the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
I would give it to Holloway, but we have to also shout out. I know he lost the belt, but we have to shout out Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya.
Gosh, that was gorgeous.
He really doesn't get enough credit for. I mean, yeah, the wrestling won him the fight, but he outstruck Izzy, which is crazy considering everybody considers him like the best striker. You know what I mean?
And people were criticizing him for, I mean, the commentary, you have to admit, the commentary was quite biased that fight.
It was.
And it was a shame.
It was a shame because Jan was so good that night.
He looked gorgeous.
So good.
And like Rogan was like, oh, he's biting on these feints. But I'm like, every time he feints, he just steps back because Izzy can't hit him. But yeah, we got to give Blachowicz that credit, man. All right. Comeback of the year. And I think you and I both. Now, this isn't like come back from injury. This is like they were down and out. You thought they were going to lose. And then he or she just comes back. Merab Dvalishvili gets the comeback of the year versus Marlon Moraes. Breck, do you have any disagreement?
No, I completely agree. There's a still image from this fight that is insane, where Merab is like, his face is on the canvas and his body is falling towards the canvas, and Moraes has his hands out like up, like what's up? I just knocked you out. And you look at that photo, you're like, okay, the guy just like got killed. Like that guy's dead. And then he survived the next like 20 seconds, comes back in round 2 and wins the fight by knocking. watching it live was insane because you're like, this guy is so tough. I mean,
he could be champ.
he could. His striking's got to get better, but
that wrestling's insane though.
Yeah. You could argue that we can't. It's not a comeback because he wasn't down, but like in terms of like toughness moments of the year, I mean, there's that, and then there's the Volkanovski.
Oh gosh.
You could argue that Volk getting out of those submissions, like he was seconds away from losing the fight. You know
yeah, I don't think people really grasp that because that grounded guillotine was so tight.
I mean, what did they say? There's
Volk said he was almost out.
Yeah, there's that. I can't remember his name on Instagram. He's like he's a doctor who reviews like UFC injuries and stuff. And he said like he timed it and he said like 2 more seconds and Ortega's champion.
I think that same doctor. Remember when Burgos got knocked out by Barboza?
Yeah.
Burgos was so tough that his mind fought through the knockout.
Yeah. And then his body like 5 seconds later was like, hey, we just got knocked out.
That's insane. I think that boggles my mind. You know what? We didn't add this time, but disappointment of the year.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I hate to say it. I love Jan Blachowicz. I'll be seeing him in Columbus when the UFC comes to Columbus. But he left the Polish Power at the hotel room, man.
He did. That was very disappointing. You know who I'm going to go with?
Who?
And this could anger people. This could very much anger people. He had one of the best 2020s a fighter could possibly have, but one of the worst 2021s, and that's Kevin Holland for me. Dude, I understand he stepped up in competition, and he didn't get knocked out, didn't get submitted, lost 2 unanimous decisions, and then got a no contest. But I mean, Brunson, Vittori, and then Dawkins, 2 L's and then a no decision or a draw. Coming off the year he had, dude, we thought he may take that next step, and he kind of got destroyed in all of his fights.
Well, here's what's going to happen. He's moving down to welterweight. I think he'll be a serious problem.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's a good decision.
He only cut 7 pounds to middleweight. That's a smart decision on his part. And, dude, I think he's going to mow through some people, man.
I hope so, because in terms of stand-up, he's pretty good. Like
there aren't many people better than he is.
He could hang with the top guys if it was just a straight-up stand-up fight.
And his jiu-jitsu's off the chart.
Is very good as well. It's just his wrestling is glaringly
dog
terrible.
Water.
So, yeah, exactly. And hopefully he can get better at it in the next year and start winning some fights again. But
you know what? I'll change it to Kevin Holland because you make a good point, Breck. He really should have showed out this year.
It's tough to have 2 back-to-back years like that.
I mean, I didn't expect him to go 5-0 again.
No, yeah, exactly. I thought he would, look better in those fights.
Yeah,
he didn't look better.
I swear in 2020, like he fought every other week, it felt like.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it was him and Hamzat, they fought like so many times.
You know what? For overall comeback of the year, like from injury and stuff, it's got to be Hamzat.
It could be Hamzat. You could shout out Ponzinibbio too, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Off life-threatening bone infection.
Yeah, he could have died. I mean, Hamzat could have died from COVID.
Yeah. Both of those are pretty scary.
Get your shots.
You could who else? I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Those 2 are come to mind.
Well, we didn't have that on the agenda. I just kind of threw that in there. All right. Male fighter of the year. For me, it's got to be Usman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to go through like your top 5 of these, or?
Yeah, I didn't have a top 5. I'll go Usman, Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say this. Cyril Gahn had a killer year.
He did. He really did.
Marvin Vettori had a killer year as well. You know what? I'll say this. The fighter that earned the most of my respect this year, Marvin Vettori. I don't care what you say. This guy went from 85 to 95, then a 205 fight when Paulo Costa straight up didn't want to make the weight. He did it anyway. He came into fight night the same weight he came in at the weigh-ins, and he beat Paulo Costa decisively.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We have a pretty similar top 5 fighters of the year. One, I had Usman. Like you said, you really can't argue. He's number 1 pound for pound right now, so how could you argue?
Yeah.
2, I had Oliveira, Chandler, and Poirier. Just insane. And both of those fights were crazy too.
Yeah.
3, I was debating Max Holloway has 2 wins this year, right?
Yeah.
I guess I can't give it to him because of the.
I still think he landed the most significant strikes out of anybody.
Yeah, so I have Holloway 3 because I'm such a Holloway fan. Maybe that's a little too high. Like you said, it's just like the 2 performances he gave were like just 2 awesome fights. It's never a boring fight.
Yeah.
And he put himself right back like he's the next guy for the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4, I was debating between Valentina and Petr Yan. I think I'm gonna go Petr Yan, just because the guy is so good, dude. When people say he's the best striker in the UFC, maybe he is, but you got to argue Petr Yan as well because
we'll talk more about him later when we get to fights of the year.
Against Sandhagen, dude, is just like it's art. Like you can watch it again and again; it never gets old. And then 5, we haven't mentioned him yet. We have to. We did mention him. We have to shout out Glover Teixeira, getting it done. 43.
Yeah. I mean, he only had 1 fight, but you got to give it to him.
You got to give it to him just because of his age, dude. Like, you're not supposed to win belts at that age. You're supposed to be tired. And he kind of wrecked the champion who was on like an 8-fight win streak or whatever. So
yeah, he was mowing through everybody. And
he destroyed him. So Glover's up there for me.
For sure. Event of the year, pay-per-view of the year, rather. Ooh. For me, it's got to be 261. Usman Masvidal 2.
Usman Masvidal. Jacksonville. Yeah.
That was amazing. Dude, man, they came back. Dude, every fight was a banger on this card.
It was. The crowd was so good, too, dude. Like, first crowd back.
First off, Carnelosi came in, beat Na Liang. And then you got Jeff Molina, who put on that amazing, it was an awesome third round performance. And then there are only 4 decisions on the card. And there were 17 fights.
Yeah.
13 fights rather. My bad. But good God, that was quite the card.
That's tough not to make it mine. I gotta go 268, dude. I have to go Usman Colby too.
It was pretty awesome.
It was pretty great. The hype leading into it was great, and it didn't disappoint. You know what I mean? Like, it really had a chance to disappoint.
And you're very right about that.
And it could have even been a greater card, dude. Like, we didn't get to see Strickland Rockhold, which would have made it even better.
Yeah.
And then the main event, whatever you want to say about it, dude, it was 5 like great rounds between 2 of the best welterweights. I
do not agree with the 49-46 that one judge. I think it could have been 48-47 either way.
Yeah. I had it split. Usman split decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And dude, Zhang Weili. There's not much gap between her and Rose, in my opinion.
No, I mean, if Zhang Weili she implemented a great game plan. She won the first 2 rounds, I believe, and then she kind of got out wrestled the last 3 rounds to lose the fight. Some people thought she won, which I really don't agree with.
Yeah, I don't.
If they fought 10 times, I think it would be 5 apiece, 6-4, 1 you know what I mean? 6-4 those. It would be really close.
Dude, I think people are sleeping on Chito Vera, man.
Yeah, he's getting better and better.
Dude, he is a huge bantamweight.
Yeah, he's big.
I mean, you saw he was bigger than Frankie.
Yeah, that was sad, man.
Dude,
what happened to Frankie in the last 2 years is just like, I hope the UFC just cuts him a check when he retires, and they're like,
yeah,
here, this is for all your CT.
Yeah, But dude, that Shane Burgos Quarantillo fight was a great fight. It just came after one of the bangers of the year.
Yeah. You want to get into top 5 fights of the year?
One more thing before that. Debut of the year. I gotta go Terrence McKinney, man.
Terrence McKinney's up there.
I think people are totally overblowing Paddy Pimblett's debut. He went in there with reckless abandon, just coincidentally got the job done.
Yeah, if he was fighting a better fighter, he would have got knocked out on that shot.
He would have out cold.
Yeah. Debut of the year. Oof.
It's gotta be McKinney, man. T-Rex.
I can't think of one off the top of my head. McKinney's, I mean, it was so quick, so that is definitely one. Yeah.
Or Umar Nurmagomedov.
That's a good one too.
He's so good. But all right. Fight of the year.
Fights
of the year. Yes. I'm gonna give my top 5 right now.
There's too many that we can't not mention. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's some that are gonna have to leave off here.
You know, I'm gonna throw in one of my honorable mentions. Costa Vittori, great fight.
Great fight. Yeah, great fight.
Fantastic fight. All right, for me, number 1, Jan versus Sandhagen. Number 2, Baeza Ponzinibbio. Number 3, Gaethje Chandler. Number 4, Usman Covington 2. And number 5, Reyes Prohaska.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
That's a good list. Number 1 for me is Gaethje Chandler. Watching it live was insane. Michael Chandler was like possessed in that 3rd round. He was just walking forward, taking shots, and somehow not getting knocked out by the hardest hitter in the division. It was absurd. For me, 2 had to be Reyes Yuri. That fight was insane for me because even though Yuri like dominated, like Reyes had his little bit of moments, and he did flash KO Yuri with an up kick. People forget.
Yeah.
Like, that fight's crazy.
But then the MMA Viking gods came back. And
the MMA Viking gods, like he went to Valhalla, and they're like, no, you're not. Later. They sent him back. 3, I would have to go Holloway Cater. We've talked about it already. Just like 700 strikes in a fight. Are you kidding me? Like, is that humanly possible? I guess.
Exactly.
4, I was debating between Jan Sandhagen and Volk Ortega. And I went Volk Ortega just because of the 2 submission. Like Jan Sandhagen might be a better technical fight, but just like the oh my god moments in the Volk fight.
The ebbs and flows.
Yeah. And then 5 for me, I had to go Usman Covington too. It was a great fight considering Colby looked out of it in the 2nd round. And then he really almost came back and won the fight. He was close.
My thing with Colby, I don't think people, too many people would agree with me on this. I think Covington and Usman are neck and neck. I really do. Yeah. I don't think there's much gap between them.
No.
He's really that. He's so good.
If Usman was an 85er, Colby would be champ.
He would be. There's no question. And I think you would also agree with me that Costa Vittori is an honorable mention. Great fight.
Great fight. Yep. We talked about Maurice Sandhagen, or not Maurice Sandhagen, Maurice Merab, Izzy Jan. We talked about, those are all the ones we got.
Yeah,
you know what was low key, fun fight. Just shout out, Zeev Bobby Green. That was a great one.
That was a fun fight.
It was a really fun fight.
You could argue Zeev lost that fight.
You could argue it.
That's the crazy thing. It's entirely possible.
Look into it.
All right. Last thing of the year. Then we'll go into, who's going to be champ next year. Some things to look out for next year. Maybe it's in a little bit of news. Knockout of the year. Breck, what's your knockout of the year, man?
That is a good question. I was toying with a lot. I want to go Yuri. I really do. But I'm not mixing this. Am I mixing it? Francis Stipe is this year, right?
Yeah, that was back in March.
Yeah, that's got to be mine. Just because for you and me both, it's sad to talk about, but what a shot, dude. He drops him with a jab.
Yeah.
And then Stipe actually kind of rocked Francis a little bit, but he's so naturally strong that his body just stabilized. And then he hit him with a check left hook that just folded him.
God.
Got to be mine, dude.
Mine's Yuri Prohaska against Dominic Reyes, man.
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
Dude,
Spin elbow.
Here's why. I mean, I think you would, if there's one person I would not fight in the UFC, it would be Yuri Prohaska, because the dude just keeps coming forward. He's not going to stop. And the dude has an iron chin, so you're not going to knock him out.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially the light heavyweight Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. But dude, the way Reyes landed on his head when he hit the canvas.
Yeah, it was brutal.
That was actually scary.
Yeah. You know what's another one we should shout out is was it Buckley that landed the spinning one?
That was
where he caught the kick and then it was Buckley, right?
That was 2020.
Oh, it was 2020. Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, it's got to be Yuri. All right, man. That'll do that. That wraps it up for the awards portion of the show. Whoever got awards should be very honored.
One last award, Coach of the Year. I think you would agree, Trevor Whitman.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's like you can't even argue anybody else. His fighters won every fight.
Exactly. You can't argue.
They're all either champions or fighting for the belt soon.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right. I'm looking at the champions right now, Breck.
Mm-hmm.
The rankings. Does Petr Yan become champion?
I mean, he already is.
Yeah, he already is.
Fight me. I live on Long Island. I want to defend Aljamain Sterling, a Long Island guy. Can't do it.
Can't do it.
I hate to keep going back. Referee of the year, you would agree? Jason Herzog?
Yes.
We got Herb Dean won an award recently.
Rigged. Don't know how.
Rigged. They definitely rigged it. Nobody's better than Jason Herzog. Change our mind. Or
the no nonsense Keith Peterson.
He does smell like cigarettes and alcohol though sometimes in the middle of a fight. So.
Yeah. Jan will get the real belt back.
I agree.
Do you think Moreno defends next month?
It's interesting, man, because Figueiredo, I don't know if you've seen, he's been training with John Jones
in Cejudo
at their place in, where is it, New Mexico or Arizona? Phoenix. So it's tough to count Figueiredo out because he's such a beast at 125. Like, you really should be fighting at 135.
Dude, I want to see Figueiredo Jan.
I do too. That would be pure violence. Figueiredo just hits so hard for 25. You know what I mean? Like Moreno like everybody hits hard, but there's a different level of power when it comes to Figueiredo.
Yeah.
I kind of have a sneaking suspicion Figueiredo. I want to say he might get it back, but the thing that stops me from saying that is that weight cut really killed him last time, and it's like it's gonna kill him again, right?
Yeah.
Because he's such a big guy for that division.
Yeah. Okay. Does Bobby Knuckles get the job done in February?
Does Bobby Knuckles get the job done?
I think he can.
I think I'm a huge Adesanya fan.
I love Robert Whittaker though.
I love Robert Whittaker as well.
He's funny, man.
When they fight, I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral, but I'm
Switzerland.
I think they can. If he can implement the same game plan as Blachowicz did. I know Izzy's wrestling got a little bit better. We saw that in the Vettori 2 fight. But Rob has looked so, I mean, dude, since he lost to Izzy, he's won 4 fights pretty convincing.
Yeah.
Or 3 fights, whatever it is. And his wrestling looks better. I don't know. I hope he does win so we get a trilogy, you know?
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Is Yuri the champ by the end of next year?
Yes.
Yes.
I love Glover. The story's awesome. But the crafty veteran can't be the crafty veteran forever. There's always going to be the young lion that comes to replace the head of the pride. And in this case, it's
Yuri,
our Viking warrior, Yuri Prohaska.
Does Nunes get the belt back?
Our samurai warrior, rather.
I think so.
Does Nunes get the belt back? Yes. I think Nunes beats Pena in the rematch very similar to how GSP beat Sarah in the rematch. Remember how he just kind of ran through him in the first 30 seconds? And
Yeah.
I think it'll be like similar to that because I think she didn't really take her seriously.
No.
And I think she won't make that mistake again.
No.
And in terms of skills, Nunes is better. We've seen it.
Here's an interesting one for 2022. Is Francis Ngannou in the UFC?
Dude,
I don't think he is by the end.
I was about to say this. I don't think he is. No, I don't.
Here's what's gonna happen.
I think he's gonna fight one more time, and then either go to PFL or Bellator.
Well, here's what's gonna happen. So how UFC contracts work? If you keep defending your belt, your contract is renewed for another fight.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he beats Gon. I think Gon could not easily beat him, but he could definitely beat Francis.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's say Francis wins. I don't think he's beating John Jones.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't think.
It's crazy. Dana White and the UFC had brass, Sean Shelby, Hunter. They really are mishandling the heavyweight. The mismanagement of the heavyweight division since like DC Stipe 1 is insane. Like every other division, it seems like for the most part, they have a good handle on it. And like they don't really create log jams too much. And we get the top guys fighting the top guys. Like, what are they doing in the heavyweight division, dude?
Yeah.
Your top two guys right now are, I mean, you could argue, well, Gon is ranked 1, but Francis and Stipe both are so angry with the company when one is probably the greatest, most accomplished, you could argue, heavyweight of all time in Stipe.
Who's the greatest? You said he's only the most accomplished. Fedor.
I still think like a prime Cain Velasquez beats anyone, like healthy prime Cain
That's
Velasquez.
true. I agree.
Like, is there anybody who had the pace, the wrestling, you know what I mean? Like all the tools.
He had the pace of a middleweight.
That's the crazy thing. Like, imagine a prime Cain Velasquez versus a Francis, or like he'd just out wrestle him. He would kill him.
Yeah.
And injury robbed him of his career. But just to get back to the current heavyweights, Francis, all the guy wants is a little bit of respect. He made it this far. He became champ. It took him like forever to get the title shot. He just kept destroying people in 30 seconds until he got his title shot. And then he gets his belt. He wants to defend it. And they're just like, no, you got to wait. We're going to make an interim belt.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
When they could have waited a month.
They could have waited a month. And they're just like.
Well, here's the thing. I understand wanting to keep Derek Lewis on the Houston card, but that's just disrespectful.
It's disrespectful, dude.
Dude, but the top 6 of this heavyweight, top 7, including the champ, is awesome. Rounding it out with Rosenstruik. And I think Chris Dawkins is still a problem in the division.
Yeah.
But Aspinall will be in title contention by the end of the year.
I don't know about end of the year. I think within 2 years, yes. It's just we haven't seen him fight the best of best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's a savage.
He's scary in the same sense. I'm not calling him Cain Velasquez, but he has insane cardio for a heavyweight. Like
he's insanely athletic for a heavyweight.
Insanely athletic, dude.
He's crazy, man.
What's one other division we kind of glossed over for a second? Do you see Volk losing the belt? Because I really don't.
I don't. Dude, he's the best featherweight of all time, in my opinion.
You definitely can argue. There's so many arguments.
He's getting there. Dude, Aldo, I don't think Max is. I think it's either Aldo, and I think we'll see after the trilogy fight. If Volk wins this, he's the best.
Yeah. If Holloway does win the trilogy fight, there's real debate between who's the best. But I just don't see like where Holloway beats Volk. You know what I mean? Like Volk's like you could argue Holloway won the second fight. It was so close. It could go either way. But like, man, Volkanovski's so tough, dude. He's good everywhere. He doesn't have a hole in his game. He doesn't have a hole in his game, and that's the thing with Holloway. It's like, yeah, he doesn't get taken down, but if he does get taken down against like a Volkanovski, like it's just over. You know what I mean?
And there's no wrestlers in the featherweight division.
No, there's not a ton of wrestlers.
So Max doesn't have to worry about getting taken down.
Exactly.
Like,
And
imagine if Marab was a 45er.
yeah, he could
Like,
be top 3 guy immediately.
yeah. So
That's why I laugh when he's a really good fighter, but like Giga Chikate won his last fight and was like, "Give me the champ." It's like, Giga, you're an amazing striker, dude. If you like get taken down by Volkanovski, ground and pound, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, so many of these guys, if they get taken down,
I think Giga could compete for the title by the end of next year.
I think he might. Yeah,
dude, he's so good.
I just hope he does. I hope Calvin Kattar just doesn't take big damage in this next. I'm so worried. You know, what
dude,
I mean? Like,
he's not gonna be the same fighter. There's
I
no
agree.
way.
I hope he's competitive and it's not like a bloodbath.
All right. Another topic. Does John Jones fight next year? I say yes.
Yes. I think he only fights once.
I think he might fight twice, depending on how he does in the championship.
I think he fights either late summer or early fall, if I had to guess.
I think he fights midsummer.
I think he either fights the winner.
He fights in the summer.
Yeah. He either fights the winner of Francis Gane or he fights Stipe for like a number 1 contender shot around the same time. Like, and then Gane, Francis, the winner, waits for that fight to happen. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Anything else for next year?
Hamzat, where's he at that point?
He'll compete for the belt.
Yeah, I agree. I think he beats Blum, calling him out, which is like, Bilal, bro, you just out wrestled a karate specialist. Like, there's levels to this.
I gotta give it to Bilal for that performance, man.
Yeah, I do too.
He gets so much hate for no reason.
I spoke ill of him last episode. I'm sorry, Bilal. But like, if you're gonna try that game plan against the Hamzat dude, good luck. You know, it's just good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. All right, there's some stuff we need to hash out, Breck.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest disappointment of the year, as much as it pains me to say this, I think you might know who I might say. Tyron Woodley.
Oh, can we?
Tyron Woodley.
I want to click exit meeting right now. I don't want to continue this episode. I'm upset. I'm angry.
I'm distraught.
That's just what more can you say?
Okay, let's. So he lost to Vicente Luque,
which was a good fight though. That was a decent fight.
T Wood went out on his sword.
Down on his shield in his last MMA fight, which I did appreciate because he did rock Luque in that fight.
And so come September, he loses to Jake Paul by decision in a boxing match. If it was by MMA rules, he would have, like how they score MMA, he would have won the fight.
Yeah.
But ring control doesn't mean anything in boxing, I don't think so.
And also, if he just ended there, we would have been like, okay, you really let us down, but like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, to go back and rematch him.
Roughly 20 days ago, T Wood got the call, and he to fight Jake Paul for the second time because Tommy Fury, which I hope they fight because I think Tommy would absolutely demolish Jake Paul.
I hope see it, yeah.
And so T Wood gets the call. He's like, I've been preparing for this. I'm like, okay. Jake Paul has never done a short notice thing like this. T Wood's probably done stuff like this in his MMA career. Let's see what happens. It was a boring back and forth matchup. I didn't watch the fight. I'm just going by anecdote. About 54 seconds left in the 6th round. Jake Paul does a little feint to the body. T Wood drops his left hand, and Jake Paul comes over the top with the right hand out cold onto the canvas.
It was worse than Askren, dude. Way worse. And we thought Askren was like embarrassing.
Dude, I had a bad feeling that night that he was gonna lose, so I just went to bed. And when I woke up, I checked my ESPN notifications, and it says
Oh God.
and it says YouTube star knocks out Tyron Woodley. And I go, what? I immediately hop on Twitter and I see him just go boom, face for. I go, he was out.
Yeah. And then what he said after the fight, like,
hey, but you gotta get a T Wood. He took the loss like a champ.
he did. He got a bag in the 2 fights. Good for him, but like, just not the way you want to go
and
out.
People dissing T Wood, man. He's a legend.
He is a legend. We have to remember. We have to forget the last 8 fights in a row he's lost or whatever.
6 fights.
6 fights, and remember him as champ, which was a scary person to fight. And then, dude, Usman, like, just like he took his fight, like the fight, like he took his soul as a fighter. He's never, since Usman, he hasn't wanted to really brawl.
And look, I hate to say this, but Jake Paul had a hell of a year.
He did.
You got to give it. I hate to say, it pains me to say.
It pains, yeah, exactly.
But what he did, he secured bags.
Yep.
And he's growing the sport again.
Yeah, people are tuning in. So, what are you gonna do?
And I gotta say this. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, man. T Wood, what you doing, dog?
I just hope he retires for good. Let us remember the best of you.
Let's hope Jake Paul fights a boxer next, because let's be real. Jake Paul almost lost the first fight against T Wood to a guy whose base is wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, not good. Not
good. Dude, that's why I think he might get demolished by Tommy Fury.
See, I don't know, man.
Oh, L of the year goes to Frank Mir going up against Pulev.
Yeah. Not good.
Rest in peace, Junior Dos Santos.
Oh, yeah.
God, Junior, I understand, dude, his MMA boxing is some of the best ever, but what is he doing? This fight does nothing for him. He's going to die.
He's going to get a lot of money. But if I had to talk to him, I'd be like, yeah, you're going to get a lot of money, but you also might get
CTE.
Irreparable brain damage. Is that worth it in the long run?
Gosh. What else is there to talk about? That's all I got, man.
How about, I was just looking through the names of the rankings, thinking about their years. Dude, it's tough to look at, but like Chris Weidman breaking his leg was crazy.
That was crazy, bro.
We had some crazy injuries. The Jacare arm snap, oof, that was rough.
You could hear it too.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
That was brutal.
Who else? Miesha Tate came back.
That's true.
That was a big thing this year. I don't know. You got anything else?
That's all I got, man. Is that all you got?
Yep. Sean,
all right.
Pretty good now.
Any final thoughts on the year, Breck?
No, I'm done. I've got them all. They're all out.
They're all out there for the world to hear.
You know what though?
What?
This whole episode, I mentioned it a little bit in the beginning. We forgot to talk about the most important part of the year.
Oh, episode of the year.
Episode of the year, dude.
I think our dust breakdown was our most important episode ever.
They should teach it in schools and universities.
No, they shouldn't.
They should show our video. I'm saying.
Oh.
Show our video to like actual professionals, and then they could like really break it down better than like we could.
Although I do think that you and I did a fairly good job.
We did a decent job. But yeah, that's the episode of the year. Shout out Dale from
Dale Brown.
Shout out Dale. Just the hardworking guy teaching great defense methods.
Shout out Deputy Chunk Chief, man.
Yep. And I think the most proper way to end this episode would be to play the video of a rear naked neck grab
Okay.
and how to get out of it. Because if you're approached by an attacker from behind, this is the proper method of escaping. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I agree. Hold on. All right. I got the video pulled up. All right. I'm gonna all right, one sec, man.
I really hope next year we get to see that. If we see him at a UFC event in the full gear, would be like the greatest thing ever.
All right, Breck, ready?
Yep.
If your neck is grabbed from the rear, clasp your hands, turn, and the wrists are hyperextended, and there's a lock on the wrist, which causes the pain to cause the man to let your neck go. Very painful.
Very painful.
Oh, you see, hold on. Look at this guy's head nod.
Very painful.
Very pain. That was a lot of pain for him.
So much pain. Max pain.
Yep.
Bro, that might have been the funniest video I've ever seen in my life.
Volkanovski could have just done that and then or take a fight.
Oh yeah, just break the guillotine, bro.
The guillotine. It's just pretty simple. Just get out of it.
All right, guys. That'll do it for throwing hands for the year. Might be back for an interview with somebody cool, but we'll see. Maybe I'll work on something, but you'll definitely see us for
January
15th,
right? 15th.
You'll see us for the preview of Fight Night, Cater versus Chikadze. We'll see you then.